Walk you through templating your blank to start shaping a surfboard. Here we're just gonna clean up the surface of the blank and get it ready to draw a template on. Okay, now we've cleaned up the top of the board, gives us a much better kind of starting point, much easier to see pencil marks. We're now going to determine the length of the board, which in this case is a 5'10" keelfish. We measure the length of the board and we use the template which we have here to fit it within those parameters. Here Steve is marking the length of the board, which you'll then use to position the template. As with everything, it's very important to have points of reference. The stringer in a surfboard is the most useful part of the board because it gives you a true centre line from which to base your measurements and position your template. Here we have put the template in position using the stringer to mark ourselves a square point on the tail and using the stringer as a centre line. You now position your template to fit that centre line and draw around it. It really is that simple. A lot of people, if you're making up your own templates, you can use a piece of flexible wood that will bend to that curve. It's a trial and error process until you have a template that you've used before. You know, you can go to people and buy ready-made templates for a lot of standard shapes. As I say, again, it is very important to measure, measure, and measure again. Use that center stringer as a reference point and draw your template out with a pencil and your cleaned up blank. There we have it, guys. I think you can see the pencil in this shot. That basically is the template drawn on that rather attractive US Blanks high density foam stringered Rich Pavel fish blank, and then we're going to cut it out. Here Steve is starting to cut out the basic template. You can use the normal hand saw for this. Obviously the more flexible blade, the easier it is to cut. The important thing to remember is to try and keep those cuts as straight and as parallel to the blank as possible. Notice the position that we're keeping the saw. At all times, ideally, keep that blade straight. It gives you a much cleaner outline for the end. There we have. Obviously, get rid of those bits of foam if they get in your way. Chop them off and continue. It makes it a little bit easier for you guys. The better you get this template, the less work you have to do later. So important. the next process is obviously cleaning up any of those dodgy saw cuts you may or may not have made. Obviously a good solid block here enables us to clean that template up until it's absolutely perfect. Again, the better template you have to start with, the better the end result. And there we have it. A cutout, templated, albeit the tail has been not finished yet, but that's essentially a good starting point for you to shape your own board.